I think, frankly, that Hillary Clinton bears some of the responsibility for the crisis. Thomas Friedman wrote an op-ed about a couple weeks ago, saying that basically Iran and Saudi Arabia have been arsonists, throwing gasoline on the flames there. But in a way, so is Hillary Clinton's policy of putting arms into that situation. They say, oh, we're going to give them to the good people. But it really wasn't possible, I think, to find the good people. And so many of the people were Al-Queda, Al-Nusra, and some of these people became ISIS. So it was really a bad idea, and continues to be a bad idea, to arm the allies of ISIS, to arm the allies of Al-Qaeda.
So what would you do in this situation?
Well, you know, you had bad people on both sides. I mean, Assad is a person who gassed his own people, but on the other side you have really the remnants of the people who attacked us, or people with a similar ideology to Al-Qaeda who attacked us. So really arming either of the sides.
We got some breaking news out of Europe now. Just crossing, reports on a man with a machete attacking people in southern Germany. 1 dead, 2 wounded. The attacker's been arrested. The assailant said to be a 21-year-old Syrian refugee.
Let's start in the news. Syrian refugees.
Right.
President Obama has said he will increase the number allowed in to 10,000. Is that enough?
You know, look, we're facing the worst refugee crisis since the end of World War II, and I think the United States has to do more, and I would like to see us move from what is a good start with 10,000 to 65,000.
Natasha.
Merkel has been under tremendous pressure for the past 4 days, Carol, to make a statement about what took place on New Year's Eve celebrations when over 100 women were attacked by groups and gangs of men. Now, she has come out with a statement saying that what happened on New Year is completely unacceptable. Those are despicable criminal acts which a state will not accept. The feeling women had in this case of being completely defenseless and at mercy is, for me personally, intolerable, and so it is important that everything that happened must come out into the open.
If Greece has carried more than its share of the burden, so too has Sweden. A nation with less than half the population of Australia took in 165,000 refugees last year alone and is starting to buckle under the pressure.
This is a country that's barely coping. Only 6 months ago, Sweden was proudly proclaiming itself the humanitarian superpower of the world. Now it's closing its borders to refugees without identity papers. And its neighbours are being even tougher. Denmark is stripping asylum seekers of valuables to help pay for their upkeep, confiscating cash and jewellery, basically everything except wedding rings. The message couldn't be clearer. Please, no more refugees.
Major concerns in Germany right now after numerous women complained of being sexually harassed by a group of migrants. The attacks took place at a concert.
You might remember that last year, Newsnight documented the journeys of 2 families to this country, refugees from the Syrian civil war. They were in camps in Jordan and were brought here via the official British programme to rescue the most vulnerable people in that region. Well, we've been following the fortunes of those families, and we have to report that for one of them, things have taken a disturbing turn. The teenage son of that family was in court today charged with sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl.
A growing number of U.S. governors want to close the door to Syrian refugees in their states after that revelation that a Syrian passport, possibly a fake, was found near the body of one of the attackers. About 2,000 Syrian refugees have entered the U.S. in the last 4 years. And as NBC's Hallie Jackson reports, the issue is now very heated on the campaign trail.
Après les gaz lacrymogènes, les jets de pierre.
Ferme ta gueule. Tu fais ça, on va revenir. Alors arrête ça tout de suite. Mais non, ça va pas. Alors arrête ça tout de suite. Allez. Vas-y, recule. Laisse-les.
Ultime provocation, les jeunes dansent devant les forces de l'ordre. Bombe lacrymogène à la main.
C'est un squat, hein. C'est un squat, hein.
En se repliant, les policiers pensent avoir évité le pire.
Qu'est-ce que tu veux faire, toi, avec ta batte, là? Qu'est-ce que tu veux faire, avec ta batte?
Mais l'un des jeunes revient à la charge, une batte de baseball à la main.
Qu'est-ce que tu veux faire, avec ta batte? Touche-moi ça. Allez, touche-moi ça. Allez, tu recules. Touche-moi ça. Allez, allez. Touche-moi ça. Allez, lâche-nous la grappe.
I'm usually am for inclusion, but in the case like this, I don't agree with letting everybody in.
Here's
help me. Attends.
Is it refugee overload?
Yes, it's a refugee overload. That's a good word.
Just too many people?
Too many people, and too many people of the wrong kind.
Do you know how the Muslims take care of you? They cut your head off. Obama is allowing hundreds of thousands of them to come in every week. Yep. The only passive Muslim is a Sufi. Sufi only. They are passive until they get around a more dominant Muslim. Then they will kill you. Muslims are passive until they gain parity with you or they exceed you in numbers, and they will kill you.
Muammar al-Gaddafi of Libya said, "There are signs that Allah will grant victory to Islam in Europe, without swords, without guns, without conquest. We don't need terrorists. We don't need homicide bombers. The 50+ million Muslims in Europe will turn it into a Muslim continent within a few decades."
Michael and Kelly, this was a public event, but I never expected to see him there. Also never expected him to talk to me afterwards. At first he was pretty standoffish, but then when we happened to run into him a little bit later on tonight, he explained why he wants Hillary Clinton to be president.
Of the brave police officers who rushed into the Pulse nightclub massacre to save lives.
Hillary Clinton speaking to a crowd in Kissimmee, just south of Orlando. Supposed to be talking jobs, but started off paying tribute to those affected by the Pulse nightclub shooting.
And I know how many people, family members, loved ones, and friends are still grieving.
Notice the man right behind Secretary Clinton with the mustache and wearing a red hat. That's the father of the Orlando shooter. What were you thinking when she was talking about the Orlando incident?
We've been helping and we were cooperating with federal government, FBI, and that's about it. Thank you.
Sadiq Mateen didn't want to answer any other questions. Anything, sir?
No.
But just hours later, by chance, we ran into him at a rest stop on the way back to West Palm Beach.
Clinton is good for the United States versus Donald Trump.
He wanted to do an interview and showed us a sign he made for Hillary Clinton. So tell us why you wanted to stop and talk now.
Well, I feel like to tell you why I stopped to talk to you, because it's very important for the United States of America, especially the election. I was invited by Democratic Party.
Just like a come support Hillary, just a regular chain email or a personal invitation?
So it came out, I'm a member, so as a member I get the invitation, so it's nothing particular about it.
What difference at this point does it make?
Never allow a good crisis to go to waste.
What difference at this point does it make? What difference at this point does it make?
See this right anywhere in the world. What I'd like for you to do is I'm going to pass these two around, not steal, that's all I got. I will break your arms. Okay. This is a Secretary of the Army in my last few months in Africa. Okay. Secretary Hillary Clinton was there. Okay. This is what the world's going to start to look like by 2015. How far is that away? Not very far, is it? That means you better get prepared, folks. That's the only slide in the world like that. You won't find it nowhere in the world. I snapped that with a little camera. I was in that office that you see. That's the Secretary of the Army. He said in 2015 events are going to start happening. That's going to transform us into this.
Never allow a good crisis to go to waste.